Right, so welcome to the call today. What we're doing is we're going through something a little bit different. So I've not got my slide deck with me today, so I'm not going through a presentation per se. But what I want to do is I want to focus on a tool that I've used to critique clients' marketing pieces. It's something that I use myself when I'm putting together my own marketing, and I'm going to share it with you guys today. Vito and Nigel both have been kindly enough to share some marketing pieces with me today, and I've pulled out some of myself as well to give you an idea, so we can go through to get an understanding of how to use the actual critique tool. But before we do that, I want guys, can you see the screen okay with the Word document on? Vito, can you see this? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself.
All
yeah.
right. Cheers. Any marketing we do needs to follow the AIDA principle. So I'm sure you've probably heard about AIDA before, but it's important, I feel, that we just quickly go over. And I'll be sharing this Word document with you. It's actually an article I put together to help inspire action with your writing, as it says here. But AIDA, for the uninitiated, stands for attention, interest, desire, action. And they're key elements we want to make sure that we have littered throughout our marketing, so that, you know, it's, well, first of all, that, be it a flyer, be it a website, be it a landing page, be it a brochure, that it attracts the attention of your core audience, the person that you wish to attract. It provides interest, so that it's obviously on point on the subjects that they're interested in. But through the crafting of the words that we put in there, we create a desire for them wanting to contact you. Let's say for Nigel, if it's in the gym, that they want to contact him to have a free trial session, or maybe it's to have a chat or a consultation. It might be on a landing page, the desire to acquire what you're offering, be it a spot on an upcoming workshop, or maybe it's a 21-day challenge, or whatever you might be offering at that time. But it's all crafted in such a way that they take action. That action might be, if we've not done a good job, hitting the back button, but hopefully in crafting out a tailored, focused piece, we're able to have them hit the buy now button on that side of things. So basically what we were looking at is attention, interest, desire, and action. And I'm not going to go through all of this, because I'm going to send it to you as part of the recording today. But I want to scroll down into the elements and explain a little bit more about the acronym. So, as I say, attention, attract. We want to be making sure that we use powerful words, or, as they say, a picture tells 1,000 words. A picture that grabs your prospect's attention, stops them in their tracks. And I'm thinking here is if somebody's in the line, in the queue at a coffee shop, and they spot a flyer or a leaflet that you've left in there, what's that? So they stop, pick it up, and want to read more. But this works as well with email, because obviously, as we know, we get crammed with so much email these days. And that's why looking at headlines which attract your attention, in your own email inbox, and making a note of those particular headlines, those subject matters, because, if it attracted your attention, then there's a good chance that you may be able to tweak it and use it to attract your prospects' attention. On the subject of headlines, because it's so important, and that's the first step, the first instance that we get the prospect's attention, I'm going to share with you and send to you a list of successful, compelling headlines that you can use as templates. And again, I'll share that with you in a moment or two. But attention is key. The interest is, as I say, is just deep. It's a deeper process. I think we need to drill into the topic that's top of mind for them. You know, what's that subject that's keeping them awake at night, and what can we write about that we can do that. And the big mistake I see certainly in written content with clients is that we don't break up our paragraphs enough. The paragraphs that we will write will probably get us an A+ in an English exam, but it makes it difficult to read when people are really busy. They're lacking time, and a lot of them are speed reading or skimming over bits. So if you've got text broken down into sentences or giving a little bit more white space, as I have here, it just makes it easy for somebody to pick up an overview of what you're saying. They can pick out bits. We can grab their attention by making things bold, for example, and so on and so forth. Using bullets and subheadings are a great way on flyers, landing pages, websites, and so on as well, just to break up text again and to make things stand out more. One of the most challenging things is creating that desire. Now, if we understand our client, our prospect, and we understand the problems and challenges and things that they're looking to resolve, and we can key into those elements by appealing to their needs and wants. We know, or should know, that people don't necessarily buy what they need. They buy, with their heart. They buy what they want, and that. So I've given an example here of our lunchtime seminar will teach you feedback skills. That is quite bland. Okay, it's telling you what it's going to be about, but then if you tell it what's in it for them, that get what you need from other people and save time and frustration by learning how to give good feedback, that's a lot more compelling. Using words like time saving and avoiding frustration and so on and so forth. The final bit I want to drill on here is just making sure that we understand the difference between features and benefits, and that we can outline both of them. And I've gone outside of the fitness industry here just to make a point, and just looking at, because I was looking for a new laptop case for my Mac, and I'll put it here. This laptop case is made of an aluminium. Now that describes a feature, and that would leave your audience, your prospects, thinking, so what? But if we can persuade them by adding benefits, and those benefits might be giving it a stylish look, or maybe it's that the strap sits better and doesn't weigh you down, and ultimately is kinder to your back and shoulders. Well, they could be key benefits that make someone want to purchase your laptop bag as opposed to a competitor's. You could even go diving deeper. And in this example, I've put giving effortless portability and a sleek appearance that will be the envy of your friends and co-workers. So again, it was pretty good here with giving it a stylish look, and it's kind to your back and shoulders, but then being able to drill in because you understand what your target audience is after, you can really appeal to them. So it's a no-brainer, who they're looking at there. As I say, I'm going to share this with you with the other key bits, and you can see it goes on a couple more pages, but there's a lot I wanted to go through and do the actual critiques on that side. Have you got any questions, guys, so far on that? Nigel, I'll go to you first. Oh, you're shaking your head there, so I'm guessing that no.
No, all good, yeah.
Cool. Right, so basically the tool that I look to use, and if I need to move us over here a bit, so I'm going to new share, is think I'll go into the Acrobat Reader version first. It's what I call our marketing piece critique sheet. So basically, it's this. I've got it as a PDF, but I use the Word version because it allows me to write on it. But you can see it's a one-page document, and I generally work the way I use it is working from the top down. You can put, now I use it, say member, so who our client is. So it might be member Vito, today's date, and Vito sent me, well, it was an ad really, wasn't it? So a display ad. So I would tick there, and I'll show it in a second. But then I'm working my way down, as I say. Now, having said that, I've got overall at the top here. So I come back to this at the very end once I've worked through the rest of them. But basically what I'm doing is, and I'm going to toggle between two elements here to do this. But first of all, I'm looking, right, the marketing piece I'm looking at, does it have a headline? It should have a headline. And if it has, then I'm grading it. How great a headline do I believe it is? And I'm going, if it's poor, or if there's no headline, I'm circling 1, because on this grading system I've got 1 is poor and 5-star is excellent. But if it was and I've got some good headlines to show you. If it was a great headline, I'm circling 5. Now, just as a notice here, just to give you that, I very rarely give 5s because I always think something could be improved. So when I've critiqued some good pieces of clients in the past, and they may only get 3s and 4s, they're thinking, oh God, it's terrible. That if it's a general rating of a 4, I'm really impressed with it, and I expect it to pull. But as I say, this is a personal rating system, so some people might grade themselves 5 throughout, but me personally, I feel that there's always improvements to be made. After the headline, I'm looking at what is there an offer, and if there is, how good an offer is it? Does it entice me? Does it encourage me to want to take action? And again, we're going through the rating 1 to 5. A key thing, and a lot of the time you'll find that marketing doesn't contain enough graphical elements. So what I mean by that is images. It might be a photo, it might be your logo, it might be some before and after shots of clients, or it might be just it might be a photo of the actual product. Let's say that you were selling a product like an ebook or something on that, or it might be a photo or video of your class in action. And again, we're giving that 5-star rating. Big one that a lot of people miss out on is including testimonials or social proof. Now, sometimes we're limited by space, so we're unable to include a lot, but even if it's a sentence, an extract, a few words, a little photo or image of that client, that can go a long way to encouraging the prospect to take action, that action being to contact you. So out of these, that's one of the key ones I see missing a lot. Close call to action. Again, generally we see that because we're telling them what to do. Although I have seen some really good looking flyers, but then it didn't tell that person what you wanted, that prospect, what you wanted them to do next. So again, that's a one to watch. And I guess another big one, not quite as big as testimonials, but certainly one that can encourage someone to take immediate action, is having some form of urgency or a deadline. You know, if an example of urgency might be that you've only got 6 spaces available. It might be that they've got to, I suppose in line with a deadline, they've got to register by Friday the 7th, Friday the 9th of February. You know, those sorts of things prompt somebody to take action. And the reason why it's so important, and I've had this actually happen to me back in the day before I understood the importance of having urgency, was that for my group classes, my boot camps, I had a great little flyer done, looked perfect. It would sent through the mail to people or put through their letterboxes, and it didn't generate the interest that we expected. And I knew that somebody on the round where these had been delivered, and I said, they were a good friend. I said, "Oh, Hillary, why did you get my flyer?" And she goes, "Yeah, it looks fantastic. Look great. Yeah, I'll definitely look to do that." And I said, "Oh, well, you hadn't contacted me." And she said, "Oh, I didn't realize that there was a need to do so immediately. I put it to one side, and I'll get back to it in a month or so." So that's the importance, where we need to make sure that we include either a deadline or certainly some form of urgency, that they don't look at something and let life get back in the way and they and forget about it. So key elements there. Vito, have you ever heard of a B offer? Do you understand the concept of a B offer? Okay. How about you, Nigel?
A B offer, is that like maybe like a downsell from the main offer?
Yeah, in essence, I guess, yeah. But in my the way that I approach it, let's say that we're doing a flyer, and the flyer is to promote, well, let's say personal training with you, Nigel. Okay, it's got all of these elements here that we've discussed. But let's say that I receive that and I'm really interested, but I'm not just quite ready, or perhaps, you know, it's just not the right time for me. Well, you've done a lot of hard work in crafting, getting the flyer printed or whatever marketing piece you've done. So you want to be able to, at the very least, collect the contact details of that person so that you can add them to your database. And that's what the e-offer can be. So generally what we see on a website, for example, and I know Vito's done this on his landing pages and on his flyers, is that you've got that ebook or download that they can get as the backup. So it's a backup plan. It's plan B. So if they don't take plan A, your main offer, then at least we've got another opportunity to try and encourage them to contact us. It's less of a commitment because they're generally getting it for free as the ebook and that, but it's a way that we know that if we've got these people being added to our database, we've got that opportunity to follow up with them through emails, through ManyChat, or through Facebook Messenger to build a rapport and build a relationship with them. And as you will see on all of the things I'm going to share, maybe bar one or two, I think, from there isn't a B offer. You very rarely see that. And again, it's because people either don't know the value, or B, don't think there's enough space on their marketing piece. Another thing as well is that I don't see if people that use graphical elements, like photos and that, there's no description or caption underneath that. And what I mean by that is that, let's say that there's a photo of a female client, and she's left a little testimonial. So you've got a big tick here, maybe a 4 on testimonials. But then underneath the photo, there's no description of who that testimonial's from. Then it loses its impact. So if we've got a testimonial from, let's say, a client called Sally, she's left a really nice piece that working with Vito in his classes, that she's lost X amount, she's lost 2 dress sizes, her energy has gone through the roof, then that's compelling to other female clients. But if we can say that her name is Sally, she's 38, and she's from Whitney, and she's a nurse, then suddenly any nurse that's in that age range or anyone in a service industry who knows that nurses are busy, that blasts any potential excuses they might have that, well, it's all right for that person. She's probably got all the time in the world to train. But if she sees that she's in a similar occupation, similar age, then suddenly she's having, well, maybe I can achieve the same. You know, so it has that subtle mindset switch. Mm. Number 11 should be a given, in making sure you include all your contact information. But there's been so many times now I've noticed a great looking marketing piece, and then some that maybe aren't so great, but they've focused that hard on making it appeal to as many people as they can, but they've forgotten to leave their phone number or their business name or whatever, how to contact you. And unfortunately, I've heard of people sending out thousands of flyers only to find out that there was no contact information on. So that's the importance of going through a checklist like this, or at least sharing it with like myself or Nikki to do a second pair of eyes to look at things, just to make sure that everything's in hand before we go forward. Final bit is, and number 12 is just making sure that it's targeted. You know, we don't want to be hitting just a generic audience. It's not going to appeal to anybody. So we want to make sure that we're laser focused on that target client, so they know when they read it, be it your landing page, be it a flyer or whatever, that you're talking directly to them through the medium of your marketing piece. What I like to do as well, I leave some space at the bottom for any notes and feedback, and particularly then, and this is when you're self-critiquing as well, that you've got areas to improve as well, so you can go back to your marketing piece, make those necessary changes so that you're good to go. So is there any questions on that, guys? Do you feel that will prove to be useful?
Definitely, yeah.
Were you on mute again, Vito? Right, so let me, I think it's on mute. Right, as I said, I've put some headlines together. I've saved.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the background, Peppa Pig and stuff like that.
No worries. So I've put together this, I've collected these headline ideas, which I'm going to send over to you as well, so you can see some ideas for headlines. For now, they're not all fitness specific, but they're all based upon successful attention-grabbing headlines, so that we can then fill in the gaps. Whoops, I've lost me. Where are we? Here we go. So yeah, they're where we can fill in the gap. So here, for example, join, and then it says impressive number of your peers that take desired action. So you would replace the impressive number. So join 97 of your peers that have lost a total of 57 kilos with weights or whatever, something like that. But you can see here we've got social proof. I put some threat headlines, what they can gain from taking action. So gain headlines. So you can see there's a fair bit. And then I think, yeah, that's it there. So that'll just give you some ideas to help improve headlines. Right.
Can I have a...
Sorry, Vito, what was that? You broke up, Vito. What were you saying?
Yeah, I said, can I ask like one question? I really struggle with before and after photo. Like everyone is too embarrassed, or how to say, to take the before and after photo. I know it would work very well. I'm just really struggling to get them. Any tips on that? How?
I do. I'll just check. Nigel, have you got? Do you struggle? Do you get? Are you able to obtain, or do you struggle with getting photos?
Normally, I can get photos. Yeah, I can get the before and afters, but it's normally getting permission then to use those photos. A lot of people sometimes people don't give me permission to use the photos, so. But I tell people, that I can blur out their faces and that, so it's just their bodies and that. If they're a little bit kind of conscious of having their face in it, I can blur out their face, and sometimes people are okay with that then.
Okay, so do you want to quickly say to Vito what you do or what you say to get the photos from the clients in the first place?
Yes. Yeah. So initially, actually, when I'm going through the package with a prospect initially, I have it in the presentation. I say that we'll be taking photos initially, and then so basically when we do the first session, then I take their photographs, their front and side photographs, and then after about kind of 12 weeks, then I ask them if it's okay to take another photograph, and generally by that time, if they've kind of gotten good results, they let me take another photograph. And then I ask them for permission then as well. So if they don't mind, then if I want to use this for marketing, I'll ask them for permission if it's okay to use the photo. And if they're a bit funny about that, then I'll ask them, I can take out your face out of the photo. And normally most of them will be okay with that then.
Well, I used to do something similar in that right from the off, it was part of the process is that, and they would see that on the outline. Initially, I had it in my presentation that we would take before and afters, and explained that generally the before was there as a tool for me to use to check if there was any postural imbalances that we had. It would be part of the postural assessment, but also it would be used because of the results that I am excited for them to see, that they'll want to compare the journey they've had over the time that we've worked together. When it came to the let's say the 12 weeks, as Nigel says, that was part of the assessment when we would come in and say, right, we're doing our 12-week photos. So again, we're going to, and I prepped them ahead of time that I wanted them to be wearing similar clothes that they wore. They didn't have to be the exact ones, but that works better. But if they could, although at times they'd lost that much weight, they wouldn't fit into them, or they would fall off them. But we would say that again, it was a condition of working with us that we would be taking photos at periodic events. Then I would be saying that I was over the moon about the success they've had, the journey they've taken so far, and it would be inspiring to other women in who are of a similar vein that have struggled and wanting, and it would that client be open to sharing their story through a written or video testimonial along with the images. And a lot of the time, because I put it in such a way is that they would be helping others, then that enabled them to get over that particular sticking point, because people don't generally, unless you're a Kardashian or something like that, don't like their photos being taken. But when they understood that it would without doubt help others and encourage others to enable them to have better lives and better health, then that took them over that sticking point. And at the very least, if they weren't comfortable with it, then I would respect their wishes. But I'd say, well, hey, can we at least do like a video where we're just talking, or can we have a written testimonial? And can I use that testimonial? And then I would ask for like a headshot that I could then use in my marketing. So it would be like their Facebook profile picture as the photo, just so that there was a picture of that person that went with that testimonial. But they were the elements that I used. Is that something that you might be able to use, Vito?
Yeah, so this is what I use at the moment. I ask everyone for a review, and then I sort of, when I do my landing pages and stuff like that, I stick the faces from Facebook profile on, like, next to the review. I just really struggle with photos, but that's a good point when you made with the postural stuff. So
Yeah, and then when I found time and time again that they would then say to me that, oh, I wish I'd had my before photo. I wish I'd done this because I feel so much better. I look so much better. And I said, well, look, from your before photo, let's find one of the photos that you've got in or around that time, that possibly that photo that prompted you to contact me in the first place. Because generally it's when they see themselves in the mirror, or they see a photo of themselves at the bar or on the beach on holiday, they think, oh my God, look at me. I look like a beach whale. I'm right. When I get back, I'm really taking action. That we can use that photo potentially, but again, we've got to respect our clients. But if we set it as an expectation, a condition of working with you, that photos are taken because you're holding them accountable, then that can go a long way. Right. On that note, I want to try to find where I put Vito's. There it is there. So let me switch shares. So I want to show you some examples how we can take these things into play. Hopefully you recognize that, Vito.
oh yes.
Now this isn't Vito, everyone, and Nigel. This is a dare I say it, a competitor in his area.
Yeah.
So looking at this, and I should have. I wonder if I can. No, I can't share two screens at once. But working through the critique sheet, I want to ask you both. The first thing on there was headline. So do we have a headline, and is it compelling?
We have.
Vito.
Yeah, like finish.
What was that? Sorry, Vito. Sorry, I butted in.
So we sort of have headline, but it's not expressed. So let's say the headline should be get fit in 2008, but it's not expressed as a headline. It's just normal text.
To me, it's very lame. I would say that was the headline, and potentially this element here below it is the subheader. But would you agree, Nigel, that it's a very poor, non-descriptive, and certainly not focused on any particular target client?
Yeah, it is. It's very general, right? Yeah, it's just get fit, like, so it's just there's nothing really specific there. It doesn't really stand out much.
And looking at it, can we really tell who we can? We're fitness professionals. We know who likes to go to like fitness Pilates and things like that. But it's not really speaking to any one person in particular, is it?
No, not really. No.
Right. So we've also got. Well, let's say, is there any testimonials there? And
No.
Well, actually, I know Vito's muted, so I'll pick on you if you don't mind, Nigel, with it on this particular one. Plus, Vito knows this person, so maybe we can think on that. But is there any urgency?
No.
Call to action?
No.
There is, I suppose, contact details, although I don't know. She's not made it easy for me to know whereabouts she does her classes. She's making it a bit more challenging because this was in a newsletter, wasn't it? Well, in a magazine, wasn't it, Vito?
That flyer looks exactly the same, just white, and she has her picture.
Oh, okay.
But exactly like that.
For me, if I want to make it as easy as possible for a prospect to contact me, and if they see this and they've got to then go onto the internet or go and type in, because this isn't going to be clickable, so they've actually got to type in that that email address, it's making it more challenging for them to contact you. We want to make it as easy as we can. So at the very least, well, I wouldn't have even published this. There's too many things wrong with it. But at the very least, I would have had the phone number in there, and so on and so forth. And she's trying to appeal to everybody, and so she hasn't niched down enough, that it's not targeted enough to anybody. There's no images, there's no graphics, there's no urgency. So I like orange and white, but there's nothing there that it doesn't blow me away, and it's not going to inspire me to take action. So you'll be pleased to know, Vito, I won't be joining Jeanette's classes. But thanks for sharing that. So the next one I'll go into, let's do a new share, is probably somebody you've heard of, or certainly a chain that you've heard of. And I can't, where is it? There. Let's make that a bit bigger. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although this is from the I've got it off online, but it's Gold's Gym, but it's from their Saudi Arabian side of things. Now this was a poster. So generally, when I have flyers, there's a front and back, and a lot of the time I see somebody will go to great lengths to make it appealing on the front. Let's say this was the front of a flyer, but then they leave the back empty. That's like expensive real estate. It's a plot of land that's left with potential to build on, to make it extremely valuable. Same with the flyer. So if you've got a flyer and you've got two sides, make use of both of them. On the front, you can have something like this. On the back, you can pack it full of testimonials from clients to make it really appealing. But looking
Absolutely.
do we have a headline? I believe we've got a pretty good headline here. I think that it's very specific. We don't know when this was released, of course, but Be Fit in Summer, it's advertising their 12-week challenge. What I like, it's got a graphical element. It's got the image here, and it's really strong. I don't know how much you can make of it, but you've got this before photo sort of in the background of him overweight, but not in your face sort of thing. So it's respectful to him, but we can see that he's got a bit of weight around his midsection. But then I love this after photo, although it wouldn't be deemed to be an after photo, but we can see clearly that he looks in shape. We've got proof of the amount of weight he lost, the amount of inches he lost over the 12 weeks. But we can see the sheer joy that, with him and I assume his son, that, that's possibly one of his whys, that, he's got the energy, he's proud, he's become a great role model for his kid. That's powerful imagery. It attracts your attention. And the mix of staying in brand with golds being the gold and then the charcoal grey, and using like a grey headline instead of a white or something, really I find quite impactful. It packs a punch. They've got some form of urgency here with stating it's limited time. But as I say, I would like to see but again, this is a poster as opposed to a flyer, and they're trading on their brand being well known. But the ways I would improve it would certainly be making sure that contact details were on there. Maybe there was a bit more social proof. Maybe, and again, they wouldn't use it for this instance, but if it was a flyer, I'd be having like a B offer on there. And so on and so forth. But generally, looking at this one as opposed to the previous version, I hope you agree that this has significantly more impact, and perhaps something that you can take and use to craft something yourself. Because I'll share each that I'm showing today in the tools that I share. But what do you think, Nigel, with this particular one, impact-wise, first impressions?
Yeah, I think it looks good. Yeah, definitely it captures your attention, and I would say it kind of targets. It would probably be good to target other dads as well, because it shows him where he's fit and lifting his kid up as well. So I'd say it'd be a good target for other dads as well.
If you do a search online for Gold's Gym flyers or Gold's Gym marketing examples, you'll get a variety of these. There is a female version out there as well, but to me it wasn't as impacting as this. It wasn't as effective as this. But this certainly has more elements as the previous one. The use of brand, which you should expect from a leading brand, to be on point with, the consistency with the colors and that. But I figured that, this is a good template to be able to take and then build upon. So that's that one. Now I want to switch focus a wee bit and find the next one. Where are we? Let's go into... Go to the desktop. Oops. I'll just move these out of the way. Okay, can you see that one? Workout at home?
Yeah.
So basically this is, I've gone onto a website now to just show you how it can apply here as well. What I like about this particular website, there's a lot I don't like about it, but what I do like about it is their USP, I guess, over here. Let the gym come to you. So it speaks to me that obviously they are mobile PTs. What I don't like about it, there's a lot going on. As soon as I arrive here, this picture keeps changing. Some of the headlines, I guess, are quite good, but they're not immediately apparent, and they're changing quite quickly, as I say. But this is the power going on from what we discussed last week, Nigel, in that having a landing page is that I've got so many options here. I'm scrolling through and I don't know where to start. They've got this little, I would say this would be like the B offer here, or the way to collect some details in time. But there's nothing there. There's nothing here that I'm lost. There's no urgency. There's nothing that really stands out. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's very there's a lot of different options. It's very seems very cluttered and stuff like that. So it's it's probably hard for people to kind of go and get a consultation there. I see where the consultation area is actually. I see the free consultation.
So you've got this really down here, and I would suggest that this would would fill up most of this bit here rather than. To me, there's a redesign required here. This is where we ultimately want somebody to be, but it's very difficult to see. If I move on to another one, Smart Fit. Now again, what I like about this, it's quite bright, it's quite clean looking. There's a lot of white space, so it makes it easier to look at, and your eye is immediately drawn over to ultimately what they want the prospect to do is book a free consult. So we've got something there. there's still a lot I don't like about this, and I'll show you the style of in a second of the style of I do like. But there is some consistency in that the red of fit it mirrors the red of the box behind the Booker Free console. There's almost a red look. In fact, it is red. Of the rope. So I would suggest it's probably a picture that's taken within their facility. We've got the red of the border on the wall as well. So that and the grey sort of matches the grey on the site. So there's some consistency, some congruency there, which is great. But again, I would like to see a bigger image. I would like to see, there's no headline here. Personal trainer in Surrey, British Columbia isn't compelling enough to me. And it doesn't reach out to anyone in particular. They do have, and this is a good one, Vito, perhaps, where you've not got the before photo. Have them, announcing on a sign that they lost X amount. Have them holding. I've seen a lot of the guys hold weights as well. Plates of the amount of weight they've lost. What was that? Sorry.
That's an amazing idea. This is what I'm gonna do now.
It just for a lot of people, it's a lot more. They feel a lot more comfortable doing that by, hey, I lost this amount, because they all love their after photo, but and if that's what gets it across the line, brilliant. And I think that would work for a lot of your girls for sure. Even your daughter agrees. So, and again, they've made it fairly easy to contact them with the number and that. But again, there's a lot going on here. And if I compare it to this particular one, which we've gone up a level here, where we've got a really compelling headline here, in that they're targeting people in the Toronto area who want transformative weight loss and PT. They've got a subheader here, which might be a little hard to see, that they've completed over 63,000 sessions, the team, over the time they've been in business. So again, that immediately tells me that they've been in business a while. They must be successful to run that many sessions, and so on and so forth. And having a video is great. And the little red, almost YouTube color button here, that my eyes drawn there to click on that. Now again, because it's a website, we've got various things up here, but with the clever use of the blue, which goes in line with their branding, you can see what they're wanting us to do. So we've got two options here, really key options that they're looking for us to do: to watch the video and to request more information. Their phone number is a little small, but I guess in the banner that they've got there, that we couldn't go any bigger there. But we can see that there's elements to pick out. And I actually know the CEO of the business that creates these websites, so I know that this is a template, a successful template that they generally use at 97 Display. But we can see it's nice and clean. Broken up, nice, lots of space, which makes it easy to read, easy to navigate as we go down, and the likes, and it looks professional. I'm not a fan of these, to be fair. I think they could do so much better on the testimonials, because success stories are, play a significant part in building that trust with people. So I would like to see this more prominent. The text is really tiny, and it's hard to read. And just saying Rachel D, that to me is almost fake news, because anyone can put Andrew W or whatever. But if it's Andrew Wallace, 48, Brixton, and he's a business consultant, then that speaks. It makes it more real. And then when it's got a photo of me, and this may be Rachel, but we don't know. That would need improving. But it's certainly, I hope you see on the three I've shown you, it's a lot more different than a number of the others. We can go through, and is there contact details here? Yes, we can see that they've got their physical address, that their phone number is at the top, and they do, because it's a website, they do have a contact us page. What they don't have, which I find surprising with it being a 97 display one, is there's no B offer. You know, I can't see one instantly. Whereas one of our very own, Dan up in Tarpley, this is his website. We can see on his using his color schemes, and he uses the blue, and he uses the it's not purple, is it? It's pink, I guess. Is we can see clearly what he wants us to do. Now he's upscale even more so, in that he's got a video of classes going on in his studio, which is great. So often I see a big mistake people make is they have this wonderful looking studio and a great photo, but there's nobody in it. It looks like you're expecting tumbleweed to go across the screen. But as we can see with the video that Dan's had done, we've got Chris's trainer running across screen there, and Dan talking there, which we would hear if we click watch video. We can see that it's a good looking studio. We can see the type of clients he works with, and if they're of a similar a person to us, then you know we're immediately, it's got our attention, we're interested, and now there's a desire to learn more. And how do we do that? Well, hey, we've got the book now free consult button. If I scroll down, Dan has his programs outlined, as most do, but what he also does is, and it's probably a little, if there was one thing he's got, is get in touch. And he still hasn't had the image of his ebook there, but he's got his 7-day body plan. So he's got his B offer here, but I want to see that much. I would prefer to see that much further up the page to entice people in. He's got his success stories, his testimonials here, with images of the clients in his studio with their age. Again, I would look to include their occupations on there, just to make it a bit more compelling. But some decent images. As you can see, Vito, these aren't before and afters, but with the picture of that client, which they were comfortable in sharing, along with their story, then you know that's proved to be enough of a success to get them. And obviously we can see where he's based, and we've got all his contact details here, plus his sign up at the bottom here. So again, I'll share all of these so you can get ideas of how to build out various bits as well. Okay.
Brilliant.
Any questions on that so far, guys?
Not on this one.
I just want to see, I think there was a couple of other pieces I was going to show. Let me just see. Yeah, that's where we need to go. So how do I get there? I'll close that. Okay, so can you see that flyer? Signature Fit. Well, it's hard to read, but that says Signature Fitness.
Yep.
Yep. Again, I won't go through. I want you guys with the critique sheets to go through these to just see that you know what you can pick out of them. But again, that is one that it's got some elements in, but it's very busy. And I know, because this was a client I had, that it bombed this particular flyer here. It wasn't as successful as they hoped it would be. It was difficult to read the logos, almost egotistical, right smack bang in. The logos don't sell what we offer, benefits do. So the headline needs to be front and center, not a logo. The guys at Ozone, again, their logo was quite big. There was an okay thing here: start strong, finish stronger. But it didn't. I feel that we needed to explain that a bit more. They did a little bit. They used the reverse side of this postcard. This was. They've got urgency and deadlines on here. Only 50 places available, and an offer. Big callers today, and so on and so forth. So they had a lot right. They were on brand with their orange and stuff, but again, very little. There was no B offer. There's no testimonials, and so on and so forth. But I know that it did actually pull quite well for them in their market down in Ennis. But that's theirs. What I like about this particular one is that the client, and this proved successful for his boot camp. This was an Aussie client we had, so it was in kilos and that. But the headline jumps out at you. Nigel, would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good headline, right? Yeah.
Certainly the 7 kilogram fat in 8 weeks, but this was proved successful. So again, I'm going to share it with you. You can see exactly who it's for: busy professionals, beginners, and so on and so forth. He's outlined what you get. He's got images, and his was an outdoor boot camp. So he's used photos of his clients and things. He's used, because again, this was a flyer, and as I say, you can't click on his website or anything. He was clever enough, because we critiqued it, to include his phone number, to make it easy to see. It's got his website, but he used a QR code as well. I don't see them used as often over here as what they were in Australia, but do both of you understand what a QR code is?
Yeah, remember I wanted to put in my...
Of course you were, Vito, yeah. Nigel, do you know what it is?
No, not really.
It's on your smartphone. You can get these QR code readers that you download. It's an app, and basically what you would do if you were holding this flyer, you would go into the reader app on your phone, and you would hover the screen, the camera, so it was over this image, and this image is imprinted, embedded with code that when it picks up on that and captures that image, it directs them to, well, wherever you want. But I know that this went to Nicholas's website on that side. But we can see here, I like this. And then on the back, again, as we outlined, we've got some good testimonials. He's not put the before and afters, but he's just put these little images. And I like the fact how he's put it like a little a conversation box, so you can see that that's Marion, this is Michael, and as I say, he hasn't put their surnames, which I suggest we do, but he has put, what their occupation and where they were based. And then he's got a little offer at the bottom, and he's done in a form of a voucher here with $50 off on that side. So that's, although this is in black and white, and he had a color version done as well, I think, from memory. There's a lot that I like on this particular thing. It stands out. It's got a lot of, I would suggest it's perhaps a little bit busy, that we may be able to just take off everything, because and there's no, I tell a lie. Sorry, there was. He's got his B offer here, but it's not I would have that in a different color to, and rather than 6 reports, I would just have the one, the one B offer on that side of things. But would you agree that this has probably got most of the elements that we look for on our critique?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
So that's the last one on that. So I'm going to bundle all of these up, but it all comes back to ultimately, once we've reviewed everything, we then give ourselves an overall score, and I'll give Nicholas on there maybe a 4.5 because it's the best of the lot in my view on that side. Although, as I say, that's just a black and white version I had on it. If we can afford colour, then we can achieve a lot more. And I'm a big fan of getting flyers and direct mail into the hands of people, because so often they're looking at Facebook and things like that. So it's good when we've got a local audience that we look to get them in any way that we can. Okay, guys, any questions on that? Do you think that this tool will be useful?
Yeah, like I want to ask, would it work as a poster? Like, it would cost less money. So let's say put on the cafes and like places where people will like walk. So sort of cross between the last flyer you showed me to make it as a poster.
Yeah, look, what, this one here?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously we wouldn't be able to include the testimonials, but you wouldn't on a poster anyway. Now, on a poster, I would perhaps take off some of this and have maybe an image to make, because unless is it a poster that on a path that people would walk past on a notice board or on a
yes, I would say like all the cafe shops has the post board, how it's called, post board, letterboard, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's say just go through the cafes and like local shops.
Yeah, look, again, the key is we want it to grab attention. This grabs attention, I believe, with the headline, the way it's done. We can see who it's for. We can see that, he's done a really good job here with the don't delay. There's only 20 spots. I would actually have put less than 20 spots, and I would actually put an odd number just to make it not as though it's rounded up. But he's told where it is. So there's lots of good elements here. And if it's a poster and they've got a QR code, then there's a lot for that. But I find that there's a lot of people having a clue what a QR code is, and they might just think it's a mark on the poster. So it would be understanding who your audience is, or even making space so you can say, use your QR code reader on your phone to access our online website or whatever. But have a look, and let's look, and we'll discuss on our call tomorrow, Vito, or one of our upcoming calls, about the way to do that for you. But I'm going to share all of these so you can get to see a good feel for them along with the sheet, and we can go from there. Okay.
Amazing, thank you.
Right, guys, thanks so much for being on the call. It's I get a lot from it. I hope you guys do too. I know I've had some good feedback from others. They miss out, obviously, guys listening to the recording, that we can't share things with you on that. But hopefully, as I say, any questions anybody has, ping me, Andrew at lifestyle180.co.uk, or certainly in the Inner Circle Facebook group. I'm going to upload this recording to our member site, and a reward to the guys here who are live on the call. I'll email you these elements so you've got them in your email inbox as well.
Cool.
All right, guys, we overran a wee bit, but there was a lot to take on. Hey, there's Vito's assistant, or is it his CEO?
No, it's my Ella.
Hi, Right, we're great to see you. I'll speak to you tomorrow, Vito. Nigel, thanks again as always for joining us live. Everyone else, We'll speak to you all very soon.
Cheers, guys. Bye bye.
All right, thanks, Sandra.